Welcome to my channel. Have you ever stood at your workplace, watching people talk, laugh, and work together, and felt like a stranger? You want to speak. You want to be part of the team. But the words, they don't come out. English feels hard. Conversations feel scary. You stay silent. But what if I told you, starting a conversation in English is easier than you think? You don't need big grammar. You don't need fancy words. You just need a few simple sentences and a little courage. In this video, I will take you step by step, from hello to full conversations, from silence to confidence. You will learn what to say, how to listen, how to keep the conversation going, and how to feel more confident every single day. This is not just a lesson. This is a journey, your journey. So stay with me. Let's begin together. Chapter 1. The Power of the First Word. I still remember the first day I started working at a small printing office. The walls were white, the desks were clean, people were typing, phones were ringing, and I was standing near the entrance, holding my bag, trying to smile. I was new. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know what to say. I was quiet, very quiet. Everyone around me was speaking English. Not fast, not slow, just normal English. But to me, it felt fast. It felt big. I stood there thinking, what if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if they laugh? So I said nothing. Then a woman walked by. She smiled and said, "Hi." That's it. Just one word. But it shook something inside me. She was not scary. She was kind. She looked at me like I was part of the place. I opened my mouth. I wanted to reply, but my voice felt small. Still, I tried. I said, "Hi." And in that moment, the silence broke. We didn't talk much. She kept walking. I stood there, heart beating. But I had said something. I had spoken English, at work, in real life. I wasn't perfect. I wasn't fluent. But I had started. And that one small hi made me feel alive. Later that morning, I walked to the kitchen to get some water. 2 people were there. I looked at them. They looked at me. I remembered the feeling from earlier. I smiled and said, "Good morning." One of them smiled back. "Good morning," he said. The other nodded. "Hey." That was it. No big words, no grammar, just greetings. But I felt different. I was not invisible. I was not silent. I was part of the room. I sat at my desk and thought about those words. Hi. Good morning. So small, so short, but so powerful. They changed how I felt. They changed how people looked at me. I was no longer just the new person who said nothing. I was someone who smiled, someone who greeted, someone who tried. After work, I went home and told my sister. I said, "Today I said hi to 3 people." She smiled and clapped. "That's great," she said, and it really was, because yesterday I said nothing. Today I spoke. That is progress. And from that day, I made a rule. A simple rule. Say one word, say one greeting, every day. Even if I was tired, even if I was scared, even if I didn't know the person, I would say hi, or good morning, or hello. One word. every day. At first it felt strange. Some people smiled back, some didn't. But that was okay. I was not doing it for them. I was doing it for me, for my growth, for my courage, for my English. And slowly, something beautiful happened. People started talking back, asking questions. How are you today? Is this your first week? Nice to meet you. And now I had to reply. I had to speak more. But I wasn't scared anymore, because I had already opened the door with one word. That is the power of the first word. It is like planting a small seed. You water it every day with one word. Then one day it grows into a full tree, a conversation tree. So if you are watching this and thinking, I don't know how to start speaking at work, let me tell you, you already know. Just say one word. Hi. Hello. Good morning. That is your start. Don't wait to be perfect. Don't wait to know everything. Don't wait for someone to speak to you first. You can begin. And when you do, you'll feel something change. Because your first word is not just a word. It's a decision, a beginning, a brave step, and it can change your whole day, just like it changed mine. Chapter 2. Simple sentences that always work. The next day at work, I sat at the lunch table. There were 4 people. They were talking about the weekend, laughing, eating. I was quiet again. I didn't know what to say. My food was in front of me. But my mouth didn't move. Not for talking, not for eating. I wanted to join. I wanted to be part of it. But how? Then I remembered something my teacher once said. You don't need a long speech. You just need a simple sentence. I thought about it. A simple sentence. Maybe, how was your weekend? So I tried. I looked at the girl sitting next to me. She was eating a sandwich. I smiled and said, How was your weekend? She looked at me, surprised for a second. Then she smiled back and said, It was nice. I went to the beach. The weather was great. What about you? I didn't expect the question back. I blinked. I smiled again and said, I stayed home. I watched a movie. She nodded. That sounds relaxing. And just like that, we were talking. Just 2 people, sharing something simple. No hard words, no long stories, just a friendly moment. That sentence, how was your weekend? It was like a little key. It opened the door to a real conversation. And the best part? I didn't need to memorize anything. I just needed to care, to ask, to listen. After that, I started learning more simple sentences like this. Sentences that always work, that feel natural, that show kindness. Like, do you need help? Can I sit here? Nice weather today, right? How's your day going? Have you tried the coffee here? Each of these is short. Each one is easy to say, and each one has the power to connect you with someone. Let me give you another small story. One morning, I saw a man carrying boxes. He looked tired. I wanted to help, but I didn't know what to say. Then I remembered, Do you need help? I walked over and said it. Do you need help? He looked at me and smiled. Yes, thank you. This box is heavy. I helped him carry it to the corner. He said, Thanks again. I said, No problem. Just 4 words, but they meant something. That day, He remembered me. The next time we saw each other, he said, "Good morning." And just like that, we weren't strangers anymore. Or another time, I was in the break room. Only one chair was empty. A woman was sitting next to it looking at her phone. I pointed and said, "Can I sit here?" She looked up, smiled, and said, "Sure." I sat down. We started talking about coffee. She liked strong coffee. I liked sweet tea. We laughed. We found something in common, and it all began with, "Can I sit here?" These sentences are not hard, but they are powerful, because they do something very important. They show respect. They show kindness. They open the door. Here's a small list I wrote in my notebook. Maybe you can write them down too. Good job on that project. I like your shirt. What do you usually eat for lunch? How long have you worked here? I'm still learning English, but I like to practice. These are friendly. These are useful. These are safe. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to mean what you say. One of my favorite sentences is, "I'm still learning English," because it's true. And when I say it, people smile. They speak slowly. They help me. They don't judge. In fact, they respect me more for trying. Now let's do a short example. You. "Hi, can I sit here?" Coworker. "Of course." You. "Thanks. How's your day going?" Coworker. "Busy, but not too bad." You. You. "Same here. Lots of emails." Coworker laughs. "Tell me about it." That's it. That's a conversation. No big words, no grammar rules, just connection. So if you're watching this and thinking, "But I don't know what to say," now you do. Start with these small, safe, friendly sentences. They are your tools. Use them again and again. Use them at the lunch table, at the elevator, in the hallway, with a smile. Because every sentence you speak is a step toward confidence, a step toward friendship, a step toward feeling like you belong. Simple sentences that always work, and you can use them, starting today. Chapter 3. Learn to listen. First, when we talk about conversation, most people think about speaking. What to say, how to say it. But here's a secret. Good speaking starts with good listening. I learned this on my third day at work. I was sitting at my desk, sorting papers. Two people near me were talking. One said, "We have a team meeting at 10. The other replied, "Yes, and the report is due before that." Then they both nodded and went back to work. I didn't say anything. I didn't join their conversation. But I listened, carefully. I heard the words team meeting and report. I didn't understand the full sentence, but I got the idea. Something important was happening at 10, so I looked at the clock. It was 9:45. I stood up and walked quietly to the meeting room. I saw other people there. I sat down. No one told me to leave. No one looked surprised. I had understood the message because I was listening. From that day, I started listening, not just with my ears, but with my eyes and heart. Here's the truth. When you listen first, you learn fast. You hear the real way people speak at work. You learn how they greet each other, what words they use, what jokes they make, what questions they ask. And over time, those words become your words too. I started writing down words I heard more than once. Break, meeting, deadline, lunch, boss, report, done, later, update, busy. I wrote them in a small notebook. Every time I heard one again, I made a check mark. If I didn't know what it meant, I searched it at home. Or I asked someone kindly, "What does deadline mean?" Most people were happy to explain, and while I listened, I also learned how to reply with simple responses. Sometimes you don't need to say a full sentence. Just a small phrase is enough. Like, "Oh, really? That's nice? I see. Sure. That's okay. I understand. Thanks for telling me." These are powerful because they show that you're part of the conversation, even if you're not leading it. They keep the flow. They make people feel heard. Let me give you a small example. Colleague. We have a meeting with the manager after lunch. You. Oh, really? Colleague. Yeah, just a short one. She wants an update. You. I see. That's it. You didn't say much. But you listened. You replied. You were part of it. Another time, I was in the break room. A woman was talking on the phone. She said, "Yeah, I'm working late again. Big project deadline this week." I didn't talk to her, but I heard working late and project deadline. That helped me understand why the office was busy that day. Listening helped me feel smarter, more prepared, less lost. But listening is not just about ears. It's also about eyes. I watched people's lips when they spoke. I watched their hands, their faces. If someone smiled and said something, I knew it was friendly. If someone spoke fast and walked away, I knew they were busy. These signs helped me guess the meaning, even when I didn't catch every word. And you know what? Listening made me speak better too. I started to copy the way people spoke, the words they used, the tone. I didn't just learn English. I learned how English feels when it's real. So here's what I did, and what you can do too. Step 1. Listen to conversations around you, even if you're not part of them. Step 2. Write down the words you hear often. Step 3. Practice short replies like, "Really, that's great," or "I understand." Step 4. Watch lips and body language. It helps more than you think. Step 5. Don't rush to speak. Listen first, then speak simply. You don't need to understand every word. Just try to catch the main idea, the feeling, the key words, and little by little your ears will get stronger, your brain will get faster, your replies will get easier. Sometimes the best way to start a conversation is to listen to one. So if you're watching this and thinking, "I don't know how to talk at work," try this. Stop worrying about what to say. Start by listening. Because when you learn to listen first, the words to speak will follow. Chapter 4. Speak with your eyes and smile. Some days, I didn't speak much. I still felt nervous. I still felt unsure. But even on those days, I learned something very important. You don't always need words to be part of a conversation. Your body can speak. Your eyes can speak. Your smile can speak. One morning, I arrived early to the office. The lights were still turning on. Only one other person was there, An older man named David. He worked in finance. He looked at me. I looked at him. We didn't say anything, but I smiled. A small, quiet smile, and he smiled back. That moment was short, maybe 3 seconds, but it said something. I see you. Good morning. We're in this together. No words, just a smile. Later that day, I had to give him a document. I was still shy. I didn't want to say too much. So I walked over slowly, smiled again, and said, "Here you go. That's it. Just 3 words." But I said them with a kind face, with soft eyes, with care. He looked up, smiled again, and said, "Thank you." That small exchange made me feel like I belonged. It made me feel calm. In English-speaking cultures, body language is part of the conversation. It's not extra. It's not something separate. It's just as important as words. That means your face, your hands, your eyes, they all speak. So if your words are not perfect, that's okay. Your smile can help. Your eyes can show warmth. A friendly nod can say, "Yes, I'm listening," without any sound. At lunch, I once sat near 2 women who were talking. I didn't know them well. I didn't want to interrupt. But when one of them looked at me and smiled, I smiled back. I nodded. She asked, "Would you like to join us?" That invitation came from a smile first, not from words, because smiles open doors. I started noticing how other people used body language. A manager would give a small thumbs up when someone finished a task. A coworker would raise her eyebrows with a soft "oh" to show she was listening. A technician would hold out a hand to help carry a box without saying anything. I paid attention to these signs, and then I started copying them. Not to be fake, but to connect, to show I cared. And you can do that too. When you speak, don't just focus on your words. Focus on your whole message. Try this. When you say good morning, look into the person's eyes. Don't stare. Just meet their eyes for 1 second. When you say thank you, smile gently. It makes your voice warmer. When someone is speaking to you, nod slowly. This shows you are listening. If someone looks confused, tilt your head a little. It shows care. If you hand someone something, like a paper or tool, say, "Here you go," with a calm voice and soft eye contact. These are simple actions, but they speak loud. They say, "I am open. I am kind. I want to connect." And people feel that. Even if your English is basic, even if you're still learning, they notice your effort, your warmth, your presence. There's one more story I want to tell you. I was helping clean up after a small office party. Plates, cups, napkins everywhere. I was picking things up. A woman next to me dropped her cup. It rolled under the table. She looked tired. I didn't say much. I just smiled, bent down, picked up the cup, and handed it back. She looked at me a little surprised and said, "Thanks. That was nice of you." I just smiled again and said, "No problem." We didn't have a full conversation, but we connected. Later that week, she asked me, "Want to come sit with us at lunch?" And slowly, we became friends. It all started with one action, one smile, One small gesture of kindness. So if you're watching this and thinking, but my English is not strong, remember, your body language is strong. Your eyes can speak, your smile can speak, and your heart can speak through simple, kind gestures. So the next time you feel unsure, try this. Look, smile, nod, be present, because sometimes the best conversation starts before a single word is spoken. Chapter 5. What to Say at the Coffee Machine. It was 10:30 in the morning. I was feeling sleepy. My eyes were heavy, my brain was slow. I walked to the break room and stood in front of the coffee machine. The smell of coffee filled the room, strong, warm, and a little sweet. As I waited for my cup to fill, I heard someone step beside me, a man from the sales team. He yawned and rubbed his eyes. I looked at him, and before I could stop myself, I said, "This coffee smells strong today." He looked at me and laughed. "Yeah," he said, "it smells stronger than it tastes." We both laughed. And that was it. We weren't friends before, but now something small had started. The coffee machine, the break room, the lunch area. These are perfect places for casual, easy conversations. You don't need to talk about work. You don't need to be serious. You just need to be present, open, and friendly. These are moments where people are relaxed. Their guard is down. Their hearts are soft. So what can you say? Here are some sentences that work almost every time. This coffee is really hot today. Do you always take your break now? I like your lunch. It smells good. Have you tried the muffins in the cafeteria? I think we both needed this coffee, huh? That was a long meeting, wasn't it? I always see you here around this time. These are not big sentences, but they create small connections. They start something, and that's all you need. I remember one day I saw a woman standing alone by the fridge. She looked tired. I walked in, opened the fridge, and said, "Looks like we all need a cold drink today." She smiled and said, "Yes, it's so hot outside." Then we started talking about the weather, about how summer makes the office feel warmer, about how she likes iced tea. I said I prefer lemonade. We laughed. And just like that, we were no longer strangers. These small talks matter. They make the workplace feel human, software kind. You might think, but what if I say something wrong? The answer is, it doesn't matter. These are safe places. The coffee machine doesn't care about your grammar. Your coworker doesn't expect perfect sentences. They just feel happy you spoke. Let me show you a small dialogue. You. Hi. Long line for coffee today. Colleague. Yeah, everyone needs a caffeine fix. You. I can't start work without it. Colleague. Same here. Morning without coffee? Impossible. You. Smiles. I'm Ronnie, by the way. Colleague. Nice to meet you. I'm Carla. See? That's a real conversation. And it started with a joke about the line. No big grammar, no hard words, just friendly talk. Sometimes people won't reply much. That's okay. It's not because of your English. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're thinking about something else. Don't take it personally. Try again another day. The more you speak, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more natural it feels. One day, you'll walk into the break room and someone will say to you, "Hey, want some coffee?" And you'll smile, because you'll know you belong. Now here's a little list you can use. Keep it in your pocket or write it in your notebook. Casual questions for break time. What's your favorite thing from the cafeteria? Do you usually bring food from home? How's your day going so far? Any plans for lunch today? Do you take sugar in your coffee? I'm trying not to eat sweets, but that donut looks amazing. Friendly statements. This coffee tastes better than usual. I think I'm addicted to tea now. I always feel better after lunch. This room is the best place to relax. I love this time of day, quiet and calm. Say these with a smile, with soft eyes, with a calm voice. No stress, no pressure. And if someone replies, keep it going with a small question like, "Really?" or "You do?" or "Why's that?" Let it flow. These are the quiet bridges that turn strangers into coworkers, coworkers into friends. So if you're watching this and thinking, "I never know what to say at break time," now you do. Don't just drink your coffee in silence. Use it as your chance, your moment. Say something small, something kind, something human. Because sometimes the best conversations happen between sips of coffee. Chapter 6. When you don't know what to say. There will be a moment, maybe at your desk, maybe in the break room, maybe in a meeting, when someone says something to you in English and your mind goes completely blank. You hear the words, but you don't understand. Or you understand, but you forget the right word to answer. Or you panic, and your brain says, "Run!" I know this feeling very well. It happened to me on a Thursday afternoon. I was working on a small report. My manager came over and said something fast. "Hey, Ronnie, can you print the quarterly breakdown and staple it with the add-on summaries?" I froze. I understood the words, print, staple, and summary. But quarterly breakdown? Add-on? My heart beat faster. My palms felt sweaty. I wanted to say, yes, and look smart. But I didn't know what to do. And then I remembered something my English teacher said. When you don't understand, don't pretend. Ask. Stay in the conversation. So I took a breath and said, "Sorry, can you say that again, a little slower?" He smiled and repeated it. This time, slowly. He even pointed to the papers, and I understood. I nodded and said, "Ah, okay, I'll do it now." He didn't look angry. He didn't judge me. He was kind, and I felt proud, not because I knew everything, but because I didn't run away. That's what this chapter is about. What to do when you don't know what to say. Let's start with the most powerful sentences you can learn. "Sorry, can you say that again? I didn't catch that. Can you please repeat it slowly? What does that word mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you explain? I don't know that word. How do you spell it? Let me check and get back to you." These are called survival sentences, and they are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength. They show you want to understand, that you are learning, that you are honest. At first, I was afraid to ask questions. I thought people would think I was slow, but something surprising happened. When I asked, people smiled. They repeated. they helped, and slowly they respected me more because I tried, because I didn't give up. Let's look at a simple dialogue. Colleague: Hey, can you grab the blue folder from storage? You: Sorry, what is storage? Colleague: The small room next to the printer. There's a shelf inside. You: Ah, got it. Thank you, see. That's not a failure. That's communication. You didn't stop the conversation. You continued it. And each time you ask, you learn something new. Here's another important skill. When you forget a word, maybe you want to say, I need a stapler, but you forget the word stapler. That's okay. Try this instead. I need that thing for paper. It puts it together. How do you say the tool for joining papers? What do you call this? Point to it if you can. People understand. They will help you find the word. And next time, you'll remember it. Also, sometimes you'll be in a group. People are talking fast. You don't understand everything. That's normal. You can say, Sorry, I'm still learning English. Can you speak slowly? Can I ask what that means? Could you write it down? No shame, no fear. English is not your first language, and that's okay. Learning is not about knowing everything. It's about not stopping when you don't. Sometimes you can even use humor. I once said, Too fast for me. Please give me the slow version. People laughed and repeated everything slowly and kindly. That moment gave me confidence. I didn't feel small. I felt part of the team. Here's a trick I used. I wrote these sentences on a sticky note and kept it in my pocket. When I needed them, I used them. And every time I used them, I felt more free. So if you are watching this and thinking, what if I don't understand someone? Don't run. Don't hide. Just ask. Just stay. Your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be brave. Because real communication is not about knowing every word. It's about not giving up when you don't. Chapter 7. From one sentence to a real conversation. At the beginning of my job, I was proud just to say, Good morning. That one sentence was a big win for me. It made me feel like I belonged. It showed I was trying. But soon I noticed something. After good morning, people said more. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Did you watch the match last night? Good morning. Looks like it's going to rain. That second sentence, it kept the conversation alive. I realized something important. One sentence is a start, but two sentences, that's a real conversation. So I began to try. After good morning, I added something small. Good morning, how's your day so far? Good morning, is it your turn to make the coffee today? Good morning, I like your tie. At first I was nervous. Would I say it right? Would they answer? But the results surprised me. People smiled. They answered. They asked something back. And suddenly, we were talking. Just like that. Here's the simple rule I made for myself. Don't stop at one sentence. Add one more. Even if it's short. Even if it's simple. Just one more. Let's look at how this works. You. Good morning. Colleague. Good morning. You. Did you see the sunrise today? It was beautiful. Colleague. Yes, the sky was orange. I love mornings like this. Now you're talking. Just like that. Another example. You. Hi, how are you? Colleague. I'm good, thanks. You. Busy morning? Colleague. Very busy. Emails, meetings, and more coffee. Again, just two short sentences, but a real conversation. Here are some second sentence ideas you can use after hello or good morning. How's your project going? Did you sleep well? Have you had coffee yet? Any big plans today? Did you hear about the news this morning? I think today will be a long one, right? These are safe, friendly, and natural. They show you care. They invite the other person to share something. One day I saw a woman at the elevator. I said, "Good morning." She replied, "Morning." I could have stopped there, but I added, "Did you get caught in the rain today?" She laughed and said, "Yes." My socks are still wet. We both laughed. The elevator ride was short, but warm. That's what these extra sentences do. They turn moments into connections. You might ask, but what if I don't know what to say next? Here's a trick. Use what you see around you. For example, if someone has a colorful lunch, that looks tasty. Did you make it? If someone is holding papers, big meeting today? If someone is wearing something nice, I like your jacket. Is it new? Let the world help you. Look around. Use it to find your next sentence. And don't worry if the conversation is short. That's okay. Not every talk needs to be long. What matters is the habit, the practice, the courage to say one more thing. Every time you do it, you get stronger. You start to feel the rhythm. You start to enjoy the replies. And soon it feels natural. I used to count how many two-sentence conversations I had in one day. Some days 3, some days 6, some days just 1. But I counted, and I felt proud, because each one meant progress. Later, I even surprised myself. I walked into the office and said, "Good morning. Did you see the email from the manager?" My coworker looked up and said, "Yes, it's about the new deadline." And just like that, we were already talking about work, about tasks, about ideas, all because I added one more sentence. So if you're watching this and thinking, I can say hello, but then I stop, now you know what to do. Say hello, then say one more thing. That small extra is your bridge, from silence to connection, from a greeting to a real conversation, and you are ready to take that step. Chapter 8. Talking to a manager or boss. The first time I had to talk to my manager, I felt very small. My hands were cold. My voice was weak. I stood near her office door for 2 minutes before I knocked. I was scared, not because she was unkind, but because I thought my English was not good enough. What if I say the wrong thing? What if she doesn't understand me? What if I look unprofessional? But then I remembered something my teacher told me. You don't need perfect English to show respect. You just need polite words and a calm heart. So I took a breath, knocked gently, and said, "Excuse me, do you have a moment?" She looked up and smiled. "Sure, come in." And just like that, I had started the conversation. It wasn't perfect, but it was polite. It was respectful, and it worked. Many English learners feel nervous when talking to someone in a higher position, like a team leader, supervisor, or boss. That's normal. But here's the truth. Managers don't expect perfect English. They expect honesty, effort, and respect. Let's start with simple phrases you can use. Excuse me, do you have a moment? May I ask you something about the project? Can I talk to you for a minute? I have a small question about my task. Sorry to disturb you. Can I ask something? Could you please explain that part again? Just to confirm, is the deadline still Friday? These are soft. They are kind. They are polite. You don't need to say many words, just enough to show you're trying. One day, I had a doubt about a spreadsheet. I didn't know if I should enter the numbers in a new row or update the old one. I waited. I watched my manager walking past my desk. Then I said quietly, "Excuse me, I'm not sure about this part. Could you guide me?" She smiled and said, "Of course. Let's look at it together." She didn't laugh. She didn't judge. She helped. That moment taught me something big. You can be professional even with simple English. Let's practice a few small conversations. You. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Manager. Yes, what's up? You. I have a question about the file you sent. Manager. Sure, let me take a look. Or you. Hi, can I ask something? Manager. Go ahead. You. Is it okay if I send the report tomorrow morning instead of today? Manager. That's fine. Thanks for letting me know. See? These are real conversations. Short, polite, clear. You don't need to use difficult words like collaboration or alignment. You just need to speak with care. Another helpful phrase is, I just want to make sure I understand correctly. This shows you are careful, you are serious, you want to do it right. You can also say, can you please repeat that a little slower? Or, would it be okay if I check with you again later? And if you make a mistake, that's okay too. You can always say, sorry, I meant to say, let me say that again. Mistakes do not mean you are unprofessional. They mean you are learning. Your body language also matters. When you talk to a manager, stand or sit straight. Make gentle eye contact. Speak calmly, even if you feel nervous. Smile if it feels right. These small things show confidence, even if your words are simple. One time, I had to explain why my task was late. I was scared, but I said, I'm sorry for the delay. I had a small problem with the system. I'm working on it now. I will finish it soon. My manager said, thanks for telling me. Please keep me updated. That moment made me stronger. I spoke with honesty and respect, and it was enough. So if you're watching this and thinking, I can't talk to my boss, my English isn't good enough, let me tell you, yes you can. You don't need to impress them. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need the right attitude. Start with, excuse me, do you have a moment? Then say what's in your heart. Simple, honest, respectful. That is what managers remember. And that is how you grow, not just as an English speaker, but as a professional. Because one brave sentence can lead to trust, and trust builds everything. Chapter 9. Making friends through small talk. When I first started working in an office, I thought friendship would be difficult. Everyone was busy. Everyone had their own circle. I thought, they won't talk to me. My English isn't good enough. But then I learned something important. Friendship often begins with small talk, not deep topics, not big ideas, just small, simple, soft conversations about the weather, about the weekend, about the coffee, about a show on TV. These small moments open the door to something bigger, something warmer. One day I was waiting for the elevator. A woman next to me sighed and said, "It's so cold today." I smiled and said, "Yes, I didn't bring my jacket. I'm freezing." She laughed. "Me too. Winter came too fast." And just like that, we were talking. Nothing serious, nothing long, but it was real. That was the first time I understood the power of small talk. You don't need to impress people. You don't need perfect English. You just need to notice something around you and share a thought. Here are some topics that always work. The weather. It's so hot today. I think it might rain. The weekend. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Did you do anything fun? Food. That smells good. What are you eating? I love pizza too. TV or music. Have you seen the new episode? I like that song too. The day. It's been a long morning, right? Feels like Friday already. These are simple. They don't ask for deep answers, but they give people a reason to respond. And when someone responds, you have a connection. Let me give you a small example. You. Hi, how was your weekend? Colleague. It was good. I visited my sister. We had a nice dinner. You. That sounds great. What did you eat? Colleague. She made homemade pasta. You. Wow, I love pasta. My mom makes it too. Now you're not just making small talk, you're building a small friendship. Another time, I walked into the kitchen and said, "I think I've already had 3 cups of coffee today." The man next to me smiled and said, "Only 3? I'm on my 4th. We laughed. We talked for a few minutes. A week later, he said, "Hey, want to join us for lunch?" It started with coffee. It became friendship. But what if you're shy? What if you don't know what to say? Here's a little trick. Notice something and turn it into a sentence. If someone has a cool phone case, that's a nice phone cover. If someone looks tired, long day, huh? If someone is laughing at something, that must be a funny message. You can also keep a few sentences ready in your head, like tools in your pocket. Use them when the moment is right. Try these. Do you usually eat lunch here? I'm new here. Any tips for surviving Mondays? I like your water bottle. Where did you get it? This week is going so fast. Have you watched anything good recently? You're not asking big questions. You're just starting a moment, and if the person is friendly, they'll reply. If not, that's okay too. Try again with someone else. Not everyone will talk, but many will. Also, small talk becomes easier when you listen well. If someone says, "I watched a great movie," ask, "What was it about?" If they say, "I'm tired," ask, "Busy day?" One small question, one small reply, one small connection. Friendship doesn't happen all at once. It grows like a plant. Small talk is the water. And slowly, you'll find people smile when they see you. Someone saves a seat for you at lunch. A colleague brings you tea when you're tired. Someone says, "Come sit with us." These are soft signs, but they mean everything. They turn a cold workplace into a warm space. So if you're watching this and thinking, "I want to make friends, but I don't know how," start small. Say something about the weather, ask about lunch, make a comment about the day, smile when you say it, and don't stop, because every little sentence you share is a seed, and one day you'll see it grow into something beautiful, a friendship. Chapter 10. Your voice belongs. Here. Take a deep breath. Think about where you started. Maybe your first word was hi. Maybe you only smiled in silence, afraid to speak. Maybe your hands shook when you tried to say, "Can I sit here?" Maybe you listened more than you talked, and that's okay, because now you've said more. Now you've asked someone about their weekend. Now you've smiled and handed someone a document with a soft, "Here you go." Now you've told your manager, "Excuse me, can I ask something?" Now you've shared coffee. You've made small talk. You've asked questions. Now you're not just watching conversations. You're part of them. You have grown, one word at a time, not fast, not perfect, but real, strong, steady. And now it's time to remember something very important. Your voice belongs here. When I first started speaking English at work, I thought I needed to hide. Hide my accent. Hide my grammar mistakes. Hide my fear. But every time I said a sentence, even a small one, I felt lighter, more confident, more connected. Because the truth is, English isn't about speaking like someone else. It's about being understood. It's about sharing your ideas. It's about connecting with kindness, with courage. There will still be days when you feel unsure, when the words don't come fast, when someone speaks too quickly, when you feel like your English is not enough. But don't forget, you've already come so far. Every good morning you said, every "Can you say that again?" you asked, every "How was your weekend?" you tried, they were not just words, they were steps. Steps into a new world, steps toward confidence, steps toward belonging. You don't have to speak like a native. You don't need big words. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need your voice. And your voice is enough. Your voice is real. Your voice is strong. And your voice matters. Because when you speak with heart, even if it's just one sentence, people listen. They feel your effort. They respect your courage. And slowly, they open up to you. You've learned to start with hi. Ask one more question. Use your smile and your eyes. Listen with care. Talk to your manager. Make friends with small talk. These are not just English lessons. They are life lessons. They show that you are growing, not just in language, but in confidence, in connection, in courage. So the next time you're at work and you hear people talking, don't step away. Step forward. Say something. Anything. Something small. Something true. Because you belong in that room. You belong in that conversation. You belong here. And this is just the beginning. If this video helped you even a little, please don't stop now. Speak one sentence today, then one more tomorrow. Keep going. Don't wait to feel ready. You are ready now. And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe to this channel. Like the video. Leave a comment. Tell me. What's the first sentence you said at work in English? I read every comment. I reply to many. Because you are not alone. We are learning together.